I noticed that you used to live in Malibu at one time, and I remember Malibu being a beautiful place. It was, there were times when I've gone up there and had argument with the school boards and things like that. But I never imagined Malibu changing in the way that it has changed. A lot of homeless people, things are happening in the schools that I never imagined would happen there. You have had it in with the city councils and things like that, right? You have met up and...
Yeah, I've run for city council twice. I'm pretty involved.
What made you decide to run for city council and all that?
I was super involved in the 90s up in Portland, Oregon. I was doing all sorts of stuff up there, and I was like, talk is cheap, man. Let me show you how it's done. And like I went down there, and because I was making YouTube videos, and we wanted to get a skate park built. And I was like, you can sit on the sidelines, or I'm on a 10 years I've been working on it. We're almost there. I've been down there getting a skate park built. But like, people don't understand, when you show up on your thing, you get all this peripheral information and you really see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
And you begin to understand that these institutions with our form of government, if you don't show up, you don't have any power, man.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm a stakeholder in the whole thing, because I understand my Constitution and Bill of Rights. I know what it's about, participating.
Yeah.
And I say it a lot, it's of the people, by the people, for the people. We live in a society that's just for the people. They forgot the first two parts. It's of the people means show up and participate.
Yeah.
And these school boards and these county issues is like, and they don't, and this is why we're here, you know.
Do you know if you will ever run again for anything?
Oh yeah, like part of me knows that that's very much a potent part of my life. Where the plug-in comes again, I don't exactly know, because the landscape's shifting so much right now. With that is, the two-party system must be crushed.
Whoa! This is The Illusion, reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. After a 4-month hiatus, I have to go back in because our mayor is pandering to the Chinese, dude. I'm an American, man. I may be a spiritual being and not really part of any of this whole rigmarole, but every now and then you have to stand up for your fellow citizenry, man. And America is being sold out to the Chinese and the multinational corporations. Why are we pandering to the Chinese? I watched that 4-minute interview you did with the Chinese television. That was disgraceful. The city of Malibu is not going to placate to the Chinese, man. I want to know who picked up your ticket there. You talked about how sweet Beijing was and what a big city it was. That was reprehensible what you did on that interview. And I'm glad it's out there on the public record, because that is who you were as a mayor. Someone who just bent over to the Chinese and took Malibu with it. No way.
Most men today, millennial men especially, and younger men, they don't have that drive to get up and fight and to endure and to deal with life. What would you say to them?
Wake up, man. Be a man. Be a warrior. There's only two choices in this life: warrior or victim. And women have a built-in thing to be warriors because they birth children. When you watch a child being born, you're like, all right, dude, like, I got to show up a different way to be a warrior, right?
Yeah.
And my job as a warrior is to protect the tribe.
Yeah.
Is to protect the women and children and not cop out and be like, I can't. When if you don't want death and destruction in your society, you better show up for the peaceful part of this. Like, I've been saying this for a decade. It's like, if you don't show up, it will fall apart, and then you are left. The thin veneer of society will crumble, and we're seeing it. Like, this is apathy's result of apathy across the board.
A lot of guys are afraid to stand up because they're afraid of the name calling, the personal attacks. They're afraid of losing something. I noticed that in the white community around the world, not just in America, they're afraid of the word racism. So they're afraid to get out there and disagree and fight back. What would you say to them?
Look in the mirror and figure out what your shadows are. When you look in the mirror and you look at that person staring back at you, and you discover what is it that your secrets are, and you go to God with your secrets, and you clean up all that stuff, because there's nothing that any person can do to me I haven't done to myself,
Yep.
and I'm not afraid of anyone anymore. I don't want to die because to prove the point,
Right.
but what I'm saying is there's
know what you
nothing
mean.
you can say to me, because I know who I am now. I spent a lot of time over on that other thing, like pretending I don't have my darkness and shadows, and I know who I am. So there's nothing you can say to me that's going to throw me off. So go ahead, because I'm not even going to get mad at you.
Right.
That's your problem. That's your shadow to deal with.
That's deep, man. That is so true.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I tell people all the time now, God doesn't care about your vices anymore. He cares about your heart. Once he gets you past that heart of stone, he will give you love. And all your little vices that you're into, alcohol and drugs and sex, he'll take all that stuff away, because that's not his issue. His issue is that he wants to create love through you and get you out there, and so you can become the light of the world, the salt of the earth. But most people are hung up on the vices instead of looking at the heart, so that the heart would turn from stone to love.
Well, and I noticed the next part of that narrative, right, is once you do on the work, people think that's where the work's done. And I've been on this thing,
Right.
it's like, what if you get to heaven and God's there and he's like, okay, you did all that, but let's look at all the stuff you didn't do.
Yeah.
Did you defend those children? Did you stand up for those women and children? Did you defend those single moms who are being forced to have their children vaccinated because they don't have an option but to send their kids to a public school? They don't have the luxury of doing what you did. You stand in the crossfire to defend the women and children? Or did you cop out and go, I got sober and I healed my darkness, and like, okay, now I get to go like drink a bunch of Mountain Dew and mind my own business? No, that's the beginning of the work. Like, the work is to constantly show up and keep bettering this realm we live in.
Amazing. That's amazing, man. That's deep. That is mind blowing.